Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we'll say Kalayim Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. Of course, do rule and teach well. Those are men that learn the truth from. So we go over, this topic here: torture slaves in the United States. You can't Babylon the Great, Wikipedia.org. Alright, so we're just gonna, go through it. Alright, little one, and be edifying to the whole full lack. So torture of slaves in the United States was fairly common as part of what many slavers claimed was necessary discipline. That's what the historian put it. Stinted allowance, imprisonment, and whipping were the usual methods of punishment. Incorrigibles, I guess that means like someone has just really offended them, or sometimes ironed or sold. Terms of torture as a means of increasing productivity included direct payment of slaves for extra work, right? Which some did have a system like that, right? Jacob buy the freedom. That's still, still wicked, man. They fucked their people up, right? So they had to pay. Doesn't matter what little you might give, certain Jake privileges to go leave and then come back, but then they had to have a pass with them, the slave pass. I say I'm just out here doing work for my master. Okay, so they got a lot of stuff: whips, right, restraints. Maybe I might go into, I might make this like a multiple part series, but I want to focus on this one. Sexual cruelty is documented, right? It's put under sexual abuse, which really they had other stuff. It's documented the 1853 case of Humphreys versus Utz, and the Louisiana Supreme Court awarded civil damages to a Madison Parish plantation owner whose overseer nailed a man's, rod to a bedstead, and then whipped him until his pee-pee, till he ripped his pee-pee off the nail. Right? The man was called Ginger Pop, or Bob. So Ginger Bob, I'll call him. He's about 30 years old. He died shortly thereafter and was buried on the grounds of the plantation. In June 1863, New York Times correspondent DeSoto William George reported witness statements describing genital burning and breast mutilation on a black plantation in Catalhola Parish. Concluding his account, if anyone reading this says he does not believe it, I have only to reply, I do. Alright, so this is accounts of these different cruel actions the so-called white man took, in America, Babylon the Great against the Southern Kingdom. And we're talking about America, so we're talking about, Judah. Alright, it's brutal, man, what they did to our brothers. Alright, so this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. Yeah. But I have made Esau bare. We're talking about his people. I have made his descendants, the Edomites, right? Which are the people in power right now. Alright, the lead banking families. There's Rothschilds, Gettys. You'll go back to Amalek, the top Edomite, right? The chief of the nations. I can read about it now. It's prophesied that they would become chief of the nations, right? Because the Rothschild family is the top banking family. And they pretty much have the dominion, right? Pretty much all over the world. They control the wealth, all right? And they did it through hijacking, control of different royal families back then. Having their pieces in the creation of central banks all around the world, and until they got their start, and they just gradually grew in power from there. Using their illuminated one groups, in their secret societies to carry out their will in secret, right? I have uncovered his secret places, right? How did the Lord do that, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua does that through his men, the prophets, right? And I'm talking about the elders, the apostles, on down to the very men of Great Millstone. Okay, that's how he's done that, and he covered and exposed these devils. All right, these different truth guys may push certain things here, push certain things there. Okay, but the only ones that are going to the full details of prophecy, and just a pure corruptionist devil, are the men of Great Millstone, right, and like-minded brothers, right, who follow the same doctrine and teach the same thing. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. All right, because it's gonna be raps for him coming real soon. And you guys see it 47. Where am I? Yeah, leave thy father's children, preserve them alive. Let thy widows trust in me. Right? Coming back to us. Right? Us. See your father's children. That's the need for adoption back to the Most High. Right? Not talking about Esau no more. For thus saith the Lord, behold, the day whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, have assuredly drunken, not thou he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Alright, because those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, surely drunken. By talking about us, there's a certain measure, of judgment that we had to go to. Esau went above and beyond what he had to do. Right? So Esau's not gonna go unpunished. He's gonna go severely punished. He's gonna be severely punished, right? Isaiah 14 is gonna be at the bottom. Alright, these nations are gonna be like, oh, this is the feller of nations. This is the one that had us in fear, right? Look at him, he's at the fucking bottom, right? And they're gonna be enslaved too. So you're gonna have slaves, they're gonna look at you as like, man, this is him. Look at this nigga now, you know what I mean? Look at this dude. Alright. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach. Right? Basra is America. But back then it was a cheap place in Edom. Shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. In all cities there shall be perpetual waste. Right? Absolutely. Waste forever. So yeah, actually don't need to pause this one. I know this one off the top. It's the book of Jeremiah 30 and 16. I'll go to the point. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. All that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Right, who are the ones that devoured us? All these nations, but really the top one being Esau. Right, he's devoured us heavy, man. Put us into hardcore slavery. Right, which the Ishmaelites also did that as well. Right, so we're gonna get at them too. We're gonna get with all these nations, man. Get at them. Put them down. Right, have them build up our land. Right. First 1,000 years, we're gonna have them in hardcore slavery, man. Alright, then after that time is up, Esau is gonna get Obadiah 1 and 18th, right, completely destroyed. He's just gonna reincarnate to the other nations. Other nations are gonna, go back to their lands. They're gonna be tributary unto us, right, and they're gonna serve us, and they continue to serve us, and things like that. And of course, we're gonna, keep some of them. You know what I mean? But we gonna jack them up, man. Alright? We're gonna jack them up. So yeah, that's pretty much, so let that be that. Pretty much all things these devils have done to us. Alright? They're gonna get it back. Alright? We're gonna fuck them up too. Alright? Way worse, right? Like it says in Revelation 2, do unto her double, and we're not gonna do exactly double. And we're gonna get at them on way worse, insurmountable amount worse than what they done to us. Alright, we use spiritual power, just straight fucking fuck them up. The one edifies to show them.